In the world of motorsport, there is one name that stands out among the rest, a name that has become synonymous with speed, skill, and determination. That name,
as a Centurion, Lewis Hamilton, it's 100 race victories, he wins the Russian Grand Prix.
Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton, born on January 7, 1985 in Stevenage, Hertfordshire, England, is a true force to be reckoned with. His journey towards greatness began at the tender age of 6, when he started karting after his father, Anthony Hamilton, bought him his first go-kart. Although before he could get it, Anthony made Lewis promise that he would keep his grades up in school. Honestly, I think support isn't a strong enough word for what he did for Lewis. Anthony took up odd jobs, with him having as many as 4 at a time to fund Lewis's karting career. This belief in Lewis from his father was well placed, as Lewis would go on to win the British Cadet Karting Championship. Lewis even introduced himself to McLaren team principal Ron Dennis, with Ron telling Lewis, "Phone me in 9 years, we'll sort something out then." Little did Ron or the world know that this young boy would break records, shatter expectations, and redefine what it means to be a Formula One champion. Ron Dennis reached out to Lewis and offered him a position on McLaren's driver development program. The agreement that Ron and Lewis came to guaranteed him a seat with McLaren's F1 team, which at the time was a very coveted seat in Formula One. After inking the contract with Dennis, Lewis continued to do what he does best, win. He went on to become a Formula Renault champion in 2003, a Formula 3 champion in 2005, and a GP2 champion in 2006. With all of the hardware possible, Lewis took his seat on McLaren's Formula One team, alongside the previous year's champion, Fernando Alonso. Lewis's rookie season with McLaren is widely considered the best of all time, with him finishing as a runner-up in the 2007 Drivers' Championship, behind Ferrari driver Kimi Räikkönen, who won the championship by 1 point. Along with having the most consecutive podium finishes from debut, Lewis would also tie the record for the most wins in a rookie season. Lewis would go on to sign a contract with McLaren for 5 years, valued at £36 million, around $71 million at the time. This was not the end of Lewis Hamilton's success with McLaren. Lewis continued his dominant performances, although this time he won the championship over Felipe Massa, making him at the time the youngest Formula One champion. The last 4 years of Lewis's time with McLaren can best be described as disappointing. Lewis would continue to win races and fight for podiums in 2009, losing out to Jenson Button. From 2010 to 2012, Lewis would lose to Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull, coming to a head in 2012 when Lewis placed 5th in the driver's standings. Lewis needed change and a new perspective if he wanted to get back to winning, and that change came in the form of a silver star and a dream. In the 2013 offseason, Lewis would ink a contract with a young Mercedes F1 team, replacing the retiring Michael Schumacher. This was considered a controversial decision, some even considering a career suicide, as Mercedes was such a new team and it only finished 4th in the Constructors in both 2010 and 2011, and 5th in 2012. This was a considerable downgrade from the second place McLaren. However, a visit from F1 legend Niki Lauda and Mercedes' belief that they could put a winning car around Hamilton convinced him to sign with the team. Despite the new team, Hamilton still struggled, finishing 4th overall in the 2013 Drivers' Championship. However, a regulation change before the 2014 season would allow Mercedes to surge to the front of the grid. Mercedes won 16 of the 19 races this season, with Lewis securing 11 wins and the Drivers' Championship, beating out his teammate Nico Rosberg, who came in second. After this season, Mercedes would go on a winning streak, winning the next 6 Constructors' Championships, while Lewis would go on to win 5 Drivers' Championships, bringing his total to 7 titles, tying the record with Michael Schumacher. Mercedes' dominance came to an end in 2021 at the hands of Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Max would overtake Lewis in the last lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and go on to win both the Grand Prix and the Drivers' Championship. To this day, Lewis is working his way back to the top after a tumble Mercedes took after the 2021 F1 season. But I would be lying if I said that F1 was the only great task Lewis has taken up. Lewis has received numerous prestigious awards for his social activism, including the BBC Sports Personality of the Year and the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year. Lewis was also knighted by the Queen of England in 2020 after winning his 7th world title. His impact on and off the track has been undeniable. Lewis Hamilton's legacy transcends the world of motorsport. Through his unprecedented success, unwavering determination, and tireless advocacy, he has proven that true greatness lies not only in winning races, but also in using your platform to make a positive difference in the world.